Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness the most excitingly different new concept in the history of television.
Okay, before I start this project, I just wanted to let everybody know and get it on the video record that we're starting out with a tidy work area. Hello, and welcome to part 1. I wanted to get a video up as soon as possible, but I ran into a few items I needed to take care of first. One of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to build or buy an overhead holder for the camera, and that kind of took a week to figure that one out. And after looking at stuff online and a couple of DIY videos, one of which actually that used one of these articulating lamp arms, which I wouldn't be able to do because I have my camera is not one of the little 5-ounce jobbies you buy for $199. It weighs like 2 pounds, so that wasn't going to work. So what I ended up doing was being a little ghetto about it. And here we are with my L bracket. So that's what I ended up with for now. Only problem with this is that the camera would be kind of upside down, so I have to make sure I flip the video. But anyway, so here we are. This is my Predicta Princess chassis. It's a 10L43, and it's got a great big old stamp on it that says Run 2. I do have the Philco service information for the set, and I also have the SAMs, but I've been using the Philco. The SAMs has a few errors in it, so at any rate, what I'm going to do is I wasn't going to do a video on this, but I thought, you know, I've been getting complaints that I haven't done any videos, and I know none of the regular people are really doing videos as much anymore. You know, Bob Anderson bought a house, so he's a little bit busy, and Scott's been kind of busy, so although he is still around. Anyway, so I've done a couple other projects around here I did not do any videos on. I've got this 8-track player I picked up for $1 because they said it didn't power on. And I did a couple of stereo record players, but again, didn't do any videos on those. Anyway, so let's get back to this. So this is going to be a bit of a drawn-out process because, being that I live in California and everybody keeps moving here, I keep getting really large rent increases, and I'm now paying about $450 more a month than I was when I moved here just 2 years ago, so it's a bit ridiculous. So I'm on a pretty tight budget. So anyway, when I've got all the stuff packed away, I took the set apart already, but I will at some point in the series bring that out. Right now my table's a little packed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera over, and I will go over what I've done so far and explain the other delay. So let me switch that on us here. Hello everybody. Welcome to the new view. So here we go. I have not taken this apart yet, obviously. What I have done was I have fixed the switch, which, as you may have seen in one of Bob's videos, the switch comes off the bottom here, and inside the switch there are two little, light up there. There's two little contacts. As you can see, these ones, if you can see in there, are pretty. They've been arced, I guess. Now inside that goes this little piece here. And these little fingers go down. Now, you know, I already did this. I already put the switch back together because I ended up actually losing the spring to one. When you're trying to get it back together, it's pretty easy for the spring to pop out. Anyway, these little fingers here on mine are there's almost 2 millimeters worth of that contact missing, and it also works as a spring. So there's just not enough metal left here for this switch to work anymore. So it would go down here. And then the spring that I lost goes on this piece here, and then it goes down here, and then as it turns, it's supposed to snap into place, which doesn't seem to want to work without the spring, but anyway. So the new switch is there, it works. Maybe I'll take one of my other switches apart and show you. As it turns out, I have a couple of the correct, well, not correct, but I have a couple of these. You guys have seen the Central Lab Snap Trolls, I think. Snap Controls Fast Attach, I think that's what they call. Hold on, I'll grab one. So I have these Central Lab Snap Troll, Fast Attach dual switches. This is an RPS 57. This actually happens to be the replacement volume control for this, the back end anyway, the volume part for this set. And although I did not use it, I do have a front section for this, but it's 2 megs, and I found a 1.5 meg, which is what the contrast is supposed to use, but the problem with that one is I know where to get it, but it's from somebody who wants the $25 minimum, and I hate that. So I actually have some searches going on eBay for one to pop up, because usually there will be somebody that will have one on there. Anyway, this is the correct control. You would cut it on down and put the front piece on, which fits over it like this one does. Anyway, this does have the correct switch, and I have a couple of these push-push switches, so I just butchered one for it. But this has it, and it got stuck there. It's, of course, the grease is dried out, and I actually had to clean this switch out and re-lubricate it, because again, even though it had never been used, it was dry. But these Central Lab switches or fast attach switches are pretty good. They've come in handy on me on a few occasions, although really only TVs. I only have TVs that seem to use those dual controls. But anyway, so this set was, so I did that. So this set was made in Canada, and it doesn't seem to have any replacement parts on it, with the exception of the horizontal, or the AFC, the diode, the phase compensate. Yeah, whatever, the diodes. I know what they are, and you guys do too. This one is a GE, and when I looked up the part number, it looked like it was a generic replacement. I've seen it before. In fact, I think this Same control is in one of my other TVs, the same part number. So, I'm going to go ahead and put that back before I lose it. The Philco instructions do tell you how to test this, and I did, and it actually tests okay. But I do have the I do have some Schottky diodes to replace it with, which I probably will do because, or maybe not. This is not a hard part to replace. So aside from that, and the fusible resistor has been replaced by this no name, no marking resistor, which actually reads 8.2 ohms. But other than those two, everything else is marked Philco and the correct part number. Most of these things were made in Canada, so if any of the parts look unfamiliar color-wise, it's probably because of the fact they were made in Canada. This green filter cap here I thought might be a replacement, but it is a Philco, but it's made in England, of all places. So, kind of an interesting global set here. Parts, anyway. So, what else was I going to show you? Oh, so the other delay here was that I made the couplets for this. I just didn't want to get delayed with making those, and I did anyway because I had to order parts. But the only two I have not made are the two that only have two components in them, which is N1 and N4, and one of those is what was it? Oh, jeez. You'd think I'd be more prepared. So anyway, I built the sync suppressor, the vertical integrator here, vertical feedback, the horizontal AFC network, and the horizontal oscillator network. Those are all done, and as far as I know, I did them correctly, but we'll find out. So that took a week. And you know, a note, I guess, I don't know if these are really that difficult to build. They kind of were for me because I had a really hard time. I mean, it's easy enough to read the schematic, but it can be kind of a challenge to figure out where components are going to go and how you're going to connect them without having to make a big mess. Like, that's kind of a mess. But I was trying to do it in such a way that I wouldn't have a whole lot of crossing over, and there were a few of them where I'm not sure if I really got lazy or if it just, like this one here, I guess I could have probably figured out a way to get it down here, but and not to say that putting wires on there are lazy. I just this very last one that I did, is this the last one I did? No, it was this one here. And this is the one I also did backwards. This one here is this, and no, it's not. This one here is this, and that was another thing, is I wanted to make sure I had the components on a side that I had plenty of room on, and this one I put the components on backwards, and this is the last one I did, and I'm just not going to redo it. It'll just have to sit here at a slight angle, because like I said, I'm not going to redo it. Anyway, so enough babbling on that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the board out next and get started on that. One of the things I wanted to do, I did have an opportunity to purchase a set of these from a friend who builds them for $50. But and I'm not complaining about the way he makes them, but he uses a lot of film caps, which is, I'm sure, perfectly fine, but they do take up space. And after watching Bob Anderson's videos on his Princess and Debutante, I think I'm going to do what he did with eliminating the cap over here and spreading the components out over here and eliminating a couple of the caps from here, and then have the caps up here. And then I would not have been able to do that with his couplets because they would have been in the way of the two caps I wanted to put over here on the board. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video for right now. I just really wanted to get something up there so you guys could see it, and so you know I'm moving forward, albeit slowly. So I will work on this when I have time. I usually only have a few hours on the weekend, and I work pretty slow, so this may be a long process, so I really appreciate you sticking around. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.